So without further ado, I would like to invite Alonso here on stage. Alonso is a Staff DevOps and AWS community builder. He managed a cyber cafe when he was 14, and he owns a laser cutter. Please welcome Alonso.
I need a minute. I don't need a mic though, because I have it, or both.
Oh, this is just for the recording.
Okay.
Do you need the mic stand?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
I can get you a mic stand.
No, it's fine. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Hello, my name is Alonso. So, as Viviana was saying, I'm her husband. I managed a cyber cafe when I was 14. I think of myself as a system thinker, and I do woodwork and electronics. Like that little thing over there is like Linux, where this small is a Raspberry Pi with Linux string. So yeah, that's my LinkedIn. But to what we came. So provisioning solutions with provisioning solutions with infrastructure as GitHub Actions. So just to start, show hand who here like have to deal with infrastructure and anything related with infrastructure. Yeah, like 25%. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go deep into the infrastructure side. So the goal of this is that I had to deal with a lot of infrastructure, and it's not great. Like, I'm sorry, but it's really hard to manage infrastructure. I used to be a developer when I was young, and I don't know. At some point, I lost my way and went into the infrastructure side. Yeah. So my meeting is about a demo. So what is the easiest way for you to host your, in this case, is a Express app. So yeah, this demo is a backend. Monorepo is a backend and a frontend. The backend is the Express app with, just plus, nothing new. Is using this serverless. It's just a wrapper, so it can work in AWS. In the front end is a React app. Yes, of course. Yeah, in the front end is just a React app with two fields and side effect with an API query. Back here. So the infrastructure behind this is literally these three files, no Terraform, no CloudFormation, no any of that. Under the hood, there is what is hidden. So in main, this is the pipeline. So you basically check out, log into AWS, install the backend, and this over here is what takes care of provisioning the whole infrastructure. So this is the instance of your infrastructure. So in this case, this is hosted in AWS, right? But for me as a developer, I don't care where it's hosted. I just want a URL when my Express app is hosted. The second part is the React. So this install the React. So this is how I'm getting the URL from the infrastructure that I created earlier. And I build that so the React knows how to talk to the backend. So this, if I go here, main. So this is the run. I get the URL. This is generated. And so this. So this is the demo. Just the network. I click and it goes to Lambda and execute. This is 100% serverless, aka free, in low usage infrastructure. But this is just the beginning. So as I mentioned before, everything is driven by this instance here. So what if we call that, so the pull request, what if we call that infrastructure the branch name? Whoa, now when we open a PR, you actually get a new infrastructure based on that name. So in this example, I'm just changing the background color. I know there are better ways to write that, but that's how I did it. So if I click here, deployments, I have a new ephemeral environment with that from backend and frontend all running and working. Yay. So this is test A. Another developer is working on test B, and it works. Yay. But that's not all. There is more. Yay. So the third part is how do you deliver these to customers, right? Because usually you have isolated environments. Each customer have their own infrastructure, right? Right? No. So I have another workflow which is going to trigger on tags, aka when you go here into your GitHub and create a new release, right? You're creating releases, right? No. So that is going to trigger the workflow on tags, right? This is my domain. So this is how I deploy. I have 3 customers. Man, I'm successful. I have Safeway, TransLink, and Starbucks. Woo! So now the name of the infrastructure is a company name, right? And because this is a matrix, so just TLDR, matrices execute this job n times. So now if we go to the action that run, tags, now I have 3 jobs, and each one of them have their own URL. If I click this one, no, I didn't click right. So Safeway. Now Safeway have their own URL. And so you can, it's really, really flexible. So this is how I envision, like, you can actually like compose your whole infrastructure with these little actions. These actions, right? So this gives me a no API. How are we with time? Cool. Yeah. Okay. So getting a little bit on the how this works. So the whole hack is that the first thing that happens when GitHub runs is it actually check out all the actions. So you have that code right running side by side with the code that you're running. So if I go, I didn't plan for this, but actions, AWS function. So what is under the hood? So sorry, Terraform. I did have time to show Terraform. But the beauty of that, the whole hack is that when this code runs, I'm using this GitHub Actions .action path. So it's actually going to pull the infrastructure code and execute it on the push on this. So, any questions? Beautiful.
Go first?
Oh, yeah, because it's ladies first, right?
So it's probably not to your application, but in general, where do you store API key for getting your requests, your responses? Sorry, it's permanent API key. And how do you store it?
Right, that's a really complicated question that would require like a keynote completed so in a secure place like SSM or something like that. Yeah, so that's an excellent question because usually where developers have a lot of pain is like how do you store that key, right? Because it's like it's not stored anywhere here, it's actually stored somewhere else. So it's like how do you get access to that? Opinions and preference dominate that zone. So it depends on the specifics of your infrastructure you have. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. So. Oh. Yeah, I don't have. Yes, but that secret has to go to the infrastructure, and yeah, you cannot pass that secret right away because then if you use Lambda, for example, as an environment variable, anyone with access to the AWS account can read that. So you would have to store it in the secret place, and Lambda has access to that secret place. So yeah, I would do it is like I have an action that is going to store that secret into the store, and then I have a ARN, a key, and I assign that key as an environment variable. Right, that would be 2 actions. Yes, thank you for your question. Back then.
Thank you very much. How do you test changes to either side, this code or the other code?
So this is what's called like is functional in a sense. Like the action is like only relies on the input. So as here, I do have like an example of how to use it, and I run this like as part of the push of the action itself. So if that API is not working, it's gonna show red right away on the push, right? Of course, you're versioning, right? You're versioning. So yeah. So I can keep going in suggestions, but yeah, usually I have a good experience in this case because of that action. I have actions that are deploying different use cases of the action, right? Hopefully that answers the question.
I have a quick question here.
Yes.
So you're dealing with serverless systems.
You're dealing with serverless system, but
yeah.
imagine that you're actually not doing serverless. When does the teardown happen on tower?
The teardown.
Teardown of the infrastructure or say that happens with branch, right?
Right. Excellent question. Let me go here. So for example, in the pull request, if I close, actually, let's test live. Why not? I didn't test this, hopefully. So if I close this, oh no, sorry, I don't have access because I have so many tabs open and
So it's tied to the PR, basically. The life cycle of the PR.
yeah. GS demo. So in this example is tied to the PR lifecycle, but literally in the action itself, like here, I'm gonna pick this one. So I can actually go and read like this is the apply. So going deep into the engine room, close your eyes if you're not a DevOps. So here I have the actual run. So it's apply, and these are the so I can literally copy this and execute locally. That's what I do to troubleshoot. Yeah, and let's see if it's deleting. I don't expect that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, I forgot to include the trigger. So in theory, yes, I should have tested this. Going to your question, no, I did not test the closing of the pull request. Yeah, I would assume that. Yeah, no, I guess it's not default that on close executes. Yeah.
So anyway, under the hood, the script, right, which is running
yeah.
to execute all the actions. So basically, if you're working only with the AWS, you don't need to GitHub Actions. You can run just the script to log in, check, then task definition, variables, and so on, right?
Yes, but now we're getting into like management, right? So I'm in platform. Actually, I have check me on time because I can keep going forever. So this is the original problem, right? So usually you have a platform team that is the one that is provisioning part of the infrastructure, and then you have teams that somehow have to hack that infrastructure to deploy the latest, right? So usually the domain teams, they depend on the platform, right? In this case, we're providing action that is owned by platform, but it's executed by domains. And then it's a lot easier for me as a platform to manage, right? Because, yeah, many because.
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
Sorry. My question is, how do you develop on your GitHub Actions, and do you do any sort of unit testing to make sure that it doesn't regress as you develop those GitHub Actions, even when they're on a platform team, obviously? Do you make any change?
Yes. So yeah, the extent is really, really hard. The short answer is really, really hard, almost impossible. But the action itself is functional in a sense that you can have many different use cases and you can execute all of them without requiring many like changes within. That goes really well. But usually you have big, long scripts that are really hard to test, so don't do that. Please avoid doing that. If you do that, then have a script with tests on the script, not on the action.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Sorry, well, time's up. Thank you so much for having me. I'll be on the back if you have any more questions. Adios.